A bit of a different feel to this video today. You've seen our stretching and strengthening and certainly our treatment videos. Today's video is about sensing and softening. As you can see, it's longer. It's meant for you to mostly listen to. You can refer to the video images to help clarify what I'm asking you to do if you need that. Otherwise, I hope you can get comfortable. If you like this video, please give it a like. And if people watch it, we can do more like this. We can go deeper into certain muscle groups. We can break the body up into different regions and focus on one region at a time. If this really works for you, I will put some links in the video description of other resources that you might want to check out to help you sense and soften, which is a really big part of relaxing and having healthy muscles. So thanks for being here. I hope you enjoy it. Find a comfortable, quiet space and relax onto your back. I've got a pad on the floor. A rug, a carpet, or a thin mat will do. If your bed is your only option, then your bed will work. Let's start by closing our eyes and just letting the weight of our heels sink into the mat. I'm going to say mat. Maybe it's your bed, maybe it's a rug. The weight of your heels sinks in. You're not pressing them. Just think about them making as deep of an imprint as possible. And then the back of your calf, the back of your thighs, just heavy. Not pushing, just sinking. And then your butt. There's a little bit of an arch in your lower back where your lower back doesn't touch as much, and that's okay. But then the back ribs sinks into your mat. Shoulder blades sink into the mat. Your hands are at your sides. They can be palm up. If that's not comfortable for your shoulders, palm down is fine. But let your shoulders, your elbows, and your hands sink. And now the back of the head sinks in. So we're making as deep and big of an impression on our mat as we possibly can without any effort. Eyes can be closed, eyes can be open. Notice your breathing. Does it feel constricted anywhere, or is it nice and smooth? Take a deep breath and just notice where the breath wants to go. Does it want to go into your shoulders? Does it want to go into your chest? Does it want to go into your solar plexus, or does it want to go into your belly? None of those is better than the other. It just is what it is. This is a practice of sensing and allowing, not forcing, not trying to change. We're going to be gently contracting and relaxing our muscles one group at a time and sensing how that changes how it feels, sensing whether or not it helps us relax. So let's start. And we're going to start with our core. So bend your knees so your feet are flat. Take a moment to get comfortable in this position. And we're going to start by lifting our right leg slowly. Notice that your left heel has to press a little bit into the floor. Holding it up, notice that it's the front of the right hip that holds it up. A little bit of your abdominals, and then really slowly let it down. Gently place the right foot back on the mat. Feel the left foot get a little lighter as the right foot gets a little heavier. And take a breath here. Now we're going to lift the left foot just a couple of inches, feeling that right foot pressing into the mat gently. You can see I'm only lifting a couple of inches here. It's my left psoas, iliacus, and rectus femoris that are holding my left leg up. It's my right gluteus and right hamstring that's pushing into the mat and then slowly let that left foot touch the mat and let the weight of it sink into the mat. Taking a deep breath here. Let's go through that one more time. Pressing the left foot into your mat, lifting the right leg just a couple of inches. You'll notice that we're not pushing against resistance. We're certainly not stretching anything. Placing that right foot down, gradually sense the sole of your foot and sense it slowly sinking further into your mat. Take a breath. Now that you've done the right leg twice and the left leg once, sense the difference between right and left. For me, the front of my right hip feels a little bit more open than the left. Now lift your left foot just a couple of inches, contracting gently the hip flexors on the left side, contracting gently the hip extensors on the right. On the right, that's your gluteus maximus and your hamstring. Slowly let that left foot descend, gently touches the mat, and then the right foot gets lighter as the left foot gets heavier. Congratulations, you have just done your first round of sensing and softening. Let your legs come straight. Sense the front of your hips and the lower belly. See if you can envision them as being softer. Make sure that your heels, your calves, the backs of your thighs and your butt are nice and heavy on your mat, making nice deep imprints in the floor. We're going to do something similar now, except we're going to lift the straightened right leg. So lifting, you're going to feel your quadriceps contracting. That's the front of your thigh. That's holding up your lower leg. You're feeling your hip flexors in the front of your hip contracting. That's holding up the thigh. You should feel your left heel pushing into the floor a little bit, and then slowly let that down and just sense as you put the weight of your right leg back on the mat, feel that relaxation in the front of your right thigh. Feel that softened. Every time you contract and conscientiously relax that muscle, you're training. You're teaching your body how to soften. You're reminding it how to relax. Now we're going to lift the straightened left leg. The right heel gets pretty heavy. The left leg floats up. The left quadriceps, that's the front of the thigh, holds up the lower leg. The left psoas, that's in the front of the hip, holds up the hip. Hold and slowly, really slowly relax. Soften it all the way. And now the most important part is to rest. Take a breath. In and out. Make sure you're heavy on your mat. And allow yourself to sense what it feels like for those muscles to be this relaxed. Maybe this is relaxed as they can be. Maybe it's not, but this is relaxed as they are right now. Let's do that one more time. We are really going to take our time and just kind of languish in the sensation. Now lifting the right leg. You don't want to be pulling those toes up. See how I'm pulling my toes up here? You don't need that. The toes are quiet. The left heel presses into the mat. The right front of the thigh and front of the hip are awake, floating this right leg, and then slowly controlling its descent. And then as it touches the mat, slowly relax and allow yourself to sense that whole spectrum of relaxation, from full contraction to full relaxation all the way through. We want our proprioceptive system, that's our body awareness system, to remember and learn the sensation of muscle being relaxed, slightly contracted, fully contracted, and everything in between. So now float your left leg. Float that left leg. The right heel is heavy. The toes are quiet. The feet are quiet. It's the front of the left hip. It's the front of the left thigh. it's the back of the right hip. Those are the parts of your body that are working. Certainly your neck and shoulders are quiet and relaxed. Slowly let that leg descend. Slowly let that muscle relax. Breathe, eyes closed, sense the front of your hips. We are not stretching, we are not strengthening, we are sensing and we're softening. Those are the other two S's. Let's move to our feet now. Let's start with the left side so we're not always starting with the right. You're going to gently curl your toes. Gently curl your toes like you're trying to pick up something off the floor with your toes. If your toes are cramping, you're clenching too hard. And then let them relax all the way. Feel like there's blood flow percolating all the way down into the sole of your foot. If you've got plantar fasciitis or pain in the sole of your foot, this can be wonderful to take some of the tension that accumulates out of your foot throughout the course of your day. Notice if your hip wants to contract. Notice if your leg wants to roll in, if your leg wants to roll out, and just be heavy. That leg is soft, just like a big pillow sitting on the mat. Now the right foot, gently clench your toes. There's no need to point the foot. There's nothing for the hip to do. The hip is quiet, the knee is quiet. It's just a gentle contraction of the sole of the foot to curl your toes and then relax. Feel the sole of your foot softening. Imagine your foot getting longer and broader, so your foot is as big and broad as possible. Now again, contract your left toes. It's not a full contraction. You do not need to cramp yourself out. And then slowly relax. Your cerebellum and the cerebral cortex are the parts of your body that control this movement. And we're just giving them our full attention without any distractions. Contracting the right toes, curling the right toes. Hold for a few seconds. If it cramps, let go. And then slowly relax. So all of your toes are totally relaxed. The bottom of your foot is open and quiet. Your heels have sunk into the mat. Your calves are still sunken into the mat. Your butt and thighs are sunk into the mat. Check in with your neck, your shoulders. Nothing in your upper body needs to be working at all. It's all fine. Nice deep breath. Now we have relaxed the whole front of the thigh, the front of the hip, the sole of the foot. Now we're going to do the shin, the front part of the lower leg. Let's start with the left. You're going to pull your toes up toward the forehead. Notice that your quadriceps wants to contract. Notice that you might want to lift the kneecap or press the back of the knee into the mat. None of that needs to happen. You're just pulling your toes up. It's exercise to contract the front of your shin without contracting the front of your thigh. We're working neurological pathways that we need to work in order for our muscles to work independently. And then relax that left foot. Relax the left shin. If you did contract in the left quadriceps, if you did contract in the left thigh, that's okay. You're learning. And over time, you'll get better at isolating these muscles one at a time. To the right side now, toes up. Front of the thigh, quiet. Knee is totally quiet and open. There's no need to lift your kneecap. It's just the front of the shin. The left side is quiet, and then slowly relax that. It's good. Make sure those heels are heavy, make sure the butt is heavy, make sure everything in between is fully in your mat. And then lifting the left toes again. Now notice this time that the calf, the back of your calf, has to lengthen when your toe lifts. And then when you relax the front of your shin, the back of the calf just kind of naturally gently shortens again on its own. Focusing now on the right foot, lift the toes toward the hip. The knee stays quiet. There, I just wanted to contract it. I had to stop myself gently. Sensing the back of your calf on the right lengthening as the front of the shin shortens. There's no full contraction. There's no struggle here. The rest of your body is relaxed. And then relax that right foot. Take a deep breath in. The out breath is totally passive. There's no need to push it out. It happens just from the elasticity of your lung tissue, the elasticity of your diaphragm, and the elasticity of your rib cage. Let's do both now at the same time. You're going to lift all 10 toes up toward the hip. The knees are quiet. The calves just passively lengthen. It's not a stretch. Your calves are lengthening, but not to their full extent. Your front of your shins are contracting, but not to their full extent. It's just a gentle pull and then a slow relaxation, allowing your brain to pay attention to the sensations that are coming from your shin and from your calf. It doesn't have to feel like anything in particular, just see what it does feel like. Moving now to some hip rotation. We're going to work both at the same time. So when I lay down, my feet point slightly outwards. It's not symmetrical, and it doesn't have to be. Your feet may be really far out. Your feet may be one out and one up. Your feet may be in. Your feet may be one in and one up. I don't care. I just want you to sense what it is and not try to correct it right now. But what we're going to do is increase the turn in of our toes. Your big toes might touch, that's okay. And just hold your feet pointing in. Notice where you feel that effort. It's going to be up here in the groin. Your ankles are not doing this action. It's coming from the hips. Your ankles and feet are relaxed. The back of your hips are slightly open because those muscles have lengthened. And then you're going to gently and slowly relax that and let your feet go back to wherever they want to be. Take a breath in. Sense the back of your hip. Sense the front of your hip. And now we're going to do the opposite. Both feet splay out. This is not coming from the ankle. This is coming from the hip. We're going to do the ankle next. So let the hips be doing this. You may feel a little like deep butt cheek action, but you're not clenching your butt cheeks, and you're getting an opening across the front of your pelvis, and then relax that. Again, there's no pushing. This is not a full contraction. We're not working into a butterfly stretch. We're not trying to stretch our adductors. We're sensing and softening. Toes in again, like just rolling the thigh bones in. No activity in the ankles. This isn't coming from your feet. Feeling the inner thighs contracted. Feeling the back of your hips and your butt opening and widening a little bit. And then as you relax that, the opposite happens. Just the natural elasticity and recoil of your tissues allows this to happen to get you back to your neutral, whatever your neutral may be. And then rolling those thigh bones out, making sure your ankles and feet are relaxed. The knees are not contracted. It's a deep little contraction deep in the butt cheeks on both sides. The front of your pelvis widens. The back of your pelvis narrows. And then as you relax that, it recoils back to your neutral. Take a deep breath. You're doing great. You're doing great. We're about a quarter of the way through this process. For this next piece, we're going to do the rotation in and out of our feet. So that's not coming from the hip, it's coming from the feet. So just so you can see, this is toes in, this is toes out. See how my knees are not moving. It's not like this. The knees stay where they are. but the toes come out and the toes come in. So first, toes out. We're going to do both feet at the same time. The knees stay pointing toward the ceiling. The hips might contract a tiny little bit, but mostly you want to sense the outer part of the calf working to pull that pinky toe away from the midline. And then relax and the tissues recoil to bring your feet back to neutral. Next, toes in. It's almost like you're scooping with your foot. Almost as if you're like trying to hold a bowl or make a bowl with the soles of your feet. It's the inside of the calves that do this action. The outside of the calves are opening and lengthening, and then relax that. Again, toes out. The knees stay pointing to the ceiling. The hips are quiet. The thigh bones don't move. And relax. And then the feet point in like you're scooping with the soles of the feet. This one, I can really sense the deep calf muscles working. It's not a full contraction. Nothing should be shaking. And then a slow relaxation. So congratulations now. You have worked through the whole hip and leg on both sides. So let yourself revel in this sensation just for a few moments so you can feel your legs relaxed. So welcome now to the midsection. The abdominal muscles and the lower back muscles, so important. If your lower back is more comfortable with your knees bent and your feet flat, then by all means get in that position. If you like to have a pillow under your knees, that is also totally fine. What we're going to do first is a real gentle contraction of our abdominal muscles. You can interlace your hands behind your head if you want. You can cross your arms in front of you like this. You can just put your hands on your tummy, whatever you want. Just tuck your chin, curl up if you can, and just lift your shoulders up off the mat. It's not a full sit-up. Slowly roll down and completely relax your midsection. Let's do that again. We are going to gently contract our abdominal muscles by rolling up just until our upper back is off the mat. You're going to feel your lower back elongating and gently pushing into the mat. You're going to feel your ribs pulling down toward your hips. You're going to feel a little effort in the front of your neck, and then slowly relax all of that till the back of your head contacts the mat. Relax your neck completely. Relax the front body completely. Be as heavy once again as you can on your mat. Take a deep breath. We're going to do one more of those. Tucking the chin, rolling up just until the upper back comes off. It's not a full sit-up. It's not a crunch. Just sensing the contraction in all the front of the abdomen, the elongation of the lower back, and then slowly releasing that. Getting in touch with those muscles, sensing what it feels like to contract them, sensing what it feels like to relax them. Now I want you to gently lift your left foot and gently take a hold of that left knee with your left hand. If your right hand can reach behind your neck, and we're going to do a little tiny bit of a lift and twist. On the out breath, lift your head gently, pull really gently that right elbow toward the left knee. This is not a full sit-up. We're working our right external oblique and our left external oblique that contract together. Slowly open that up. Let that go. Let the leg go, let the arms go. Fully relax into your mat. Feel as you relax this band or like a sash coming from your left hip up to your right ribs that's relaxing and opening. And just picture blood just gently percolating warmth deep into those muscles. And let's do the right side. So the right knee comes up, the right hand gently grasps it. You're not pulling the knee to the chest. It's not a stretch. The left hand comes behind the head and you gently pull with your abdominal muscles the left elbow to the right knee. It's not a full crunch. Just feel that band, like that sash, going from the left rib to the right hip, contracting and now opening, lengthening, relaxing, everything back to the mat and sink. Now the whole abdominal area is awake and relaxed. We're going to sense the left side now, so lifting the left knee, holding it with the left hand, right hand behind the head or behind the neck. And now as we lift that right shoulder toward the left knee, we're sensing not only the abdominal muscles contracting, but the lower back muscles have to open and relax. If there's any arch or pain in your back, then let it down and reset. We're going to slowly let this down. We're going to put the leg and the arms down and give ourselves a nice deep breath here. Checking in. Heels heavy, calves heavy, butt heavy, low back heavy, shoulders heavy, neck heavy, back of the head. Everything is just resting on the mat. Trusting gravity. There's no need to hold yourself up. The right knee in the right hand, the left knee behind the head. You're going to gently pull the left elbow to the right knee, feeling the contraction in the abdominals, but also feeling the opening in the lower back, particularly behind the left rib cage and the left lower back. Hold and then slowly release all the way down so your brain gets to sense without any distraction the contraction and relaxation of your abdominal and your lower back muscles. Deep breath here. Our next movement is a little arch of the back. So sense the back of your sacrum, that's your tailbone, in the mat. Sense the back of your hips in the mat. And just think about pulling those two gently together. And then the tummy lifts and the back arches just a little tiny bit. No compression. This is gentle, but all the muscles are gently contracted and the abdominal muscles now have to open and relax. The front of the hip is open and relaxed. The legs are heavy. There's no pushing with the heels. And then slowly let that relax. Feel your lower back lengthen again. Feel your lumbar spine recoil back to its neutral, whatever neutral is for you. We're going to do the opposite now, where we're going to gently pull the pubic bone toward the sternum. It moves like an inch. It's a gentle contraction in the lower belly, but more importantly, it's the low back opening. It feels like a nice, warm, opening stretch in your lower back. And then relax. And I just noticed as I did that my heels did push into the mat a little bit. And that's good sensation. That's good sensing by me. Again, we're going to arch ever so slightly, shortening the distance between the sacrum and the lower ribs. The lumbar spine arches just a few degrees. The front of the hips are quiet. The front of the belly has to open. And then that relaxes down all the way. Nice breath. Good. Breath in and a breath out. Make sure that you're relaxed and heavy. Not anticipating the next movement, but really sensing what is right now. What is right now? How does my lower back feel right now? What is the sensation? How soft? How quiet? Now let's pull gently that pubic bone just up an inch. Yes, I'm trying to keep my heels from pushing into the mat too much. It's more a sensation of your abdominal muscles contracting and your lower back muscles lengthening just half an inch or an inch. And on the next out breath, all of that relaxes. Your pelvis and your pubic bone recoil to their neutral. Your lumbar spine recoils to its neutral. Take a breath. The next movement is a side bend. So you're gonna place your hands on your hips. First, let's just kind of get a sense of this movement. I'm gonna kind of almost like shrugging my right hip up toward my right ear so that my spine kind of makes a C, concave to the right. Yeah, and then do it again to the left. Shrug the left shoulder. Shrug the left hip. The shoulders aren't doing anything. And then relax. Just kind of orienting to this movement because it's one we don't do very much. Let's come back to the right side. Shrug that right hip up toward the right shoulder. Your spine makes a little C toward the right. You feel this in the right side body. It's your right quadratus lumborum that's doing this movement. And then let that relax. Take a breath. Check in, make sure everything is heavy and deeply impressing the mat. Shrug that left hip toward the left shoulder really slowly. You'll notice that your right foot pushes away a little bit and your head may want to turn to one side or the other. You're sensing the deep muscles in the left lower back, the quadratus lumborum and the lumbar multifidus. Let that go slowly. The legs even out, the hips even out, and really allow yourself to feel what that deep lower back feels like when it's this quiet. It's exerting no effort at all. The mat is holding you up. Right side again. Ooh, shrug that right hip. This is such a good feeling. Feel the left leg lengthen away from you just an inch. The right leg shortens up toward you just an inch. The head may roll to one side or the other. Sensing that deep right lower back. The hips are quiet, the toes are quiet. And then slowly let that go. Slowly let that go. Take a deep breath. Shrug that left hip toward the left shoulder. The right leg lengthens, the right lower back opens, the left lower back contracts ever so slightly. If this hurts, if you've got a disc problem, just let go. Everything relaxes now. Our legs even out, our pelvis recoils back to what is neutral for us. I know I want to shift on the mat a little bit. You might too, because my lower back is more relaxed now, and I kind of want to give a new position to my pelvis. I want to make sure that I'm not just sitting in that same position out of habit, but I'm giving my body permission to change. Deep breath here. Okay. This next one, we're going to work our rib cage, our intercostal muscles. It's a deep breath in, and on the out breath, squeeze your rib cage, pushing that breath out. Just for a second, hold the breath at the bottom, and then relax everything, and the breath naturally just comes back in. Give yourself a full breath. Widen that rib cage, open that rib cage, and then breathe out and relax. This is an amazing way to release anxiety that accumulates in your chest throughout the day. Feel how open that feels. Feel how your eyes might even want to open a little bit more. That just woke up my whole brain. Take a breath in. And then as you breathe out, push that air out by squeezing your rib cage, not with your hands, but with the muscles in your body wall. Full breath out. Legs are quiet, feet are quiet. It's just the torso. And then let that go. Feel the air naturally get sucked back into your lungs and give yourself a full in-breath. Feel free to spread your arms wide. Feel free to breathe into your chest and just make this breath as big and awesome as it can be for you, wherever your breathing is today. And then let that relax. That one's so good, we're going to do it a third time. Breathe in. Breathe out. Squeeze that breath out by trying to make your torso and your thoracics and your rib cage just as small as possible. This is me, just breathing it out all the way. Hold at the bottom of the breath. And then let it go. Feel that your body just naturally wants to give you a big deep breath now. And revel in that feeling of your rib cage just expanding to the greatest extent that it has right now. Whatever it can do right now is awesome. Good one. Check back in. The ribs are heavy, the low back is heavy, the hips are heavy, the butt is big and heavy, back of the thighs, the back of the knees, the heels, the elbows, the wrists, the hands, back of your shoulders, the back of your head. You are fully, deeply sinking into your mat. Everything is so relaxed right now. This is as soft as you can be. Let's work the pectoral muscles here. So this is like an I Dream of Jeannie. If you're my age, you remember that show. Maybe you're into retro TV. But basically, the web of the left thumb comes around the right bicep. The web of the right thumb comes around the left bicep. And you're kind of squeeze your pecs, pushing the biceps into the opposite thumb web gently. This is not a full contraction, just sensing what it feels like to contract those pectoralis muscles, and then slowly relax. Let the hands come back down by your side. It's a full relaxation. And as you relax, you're going to sense the chest broadening. Front of your chest opens like a book. The clavicles, the collarbones, the sternum, everything is wide. Breathe into that space now. You just made some new space underneath your pectoralis muscles, and just let yourself breathe into your chest, in and out, gently. And when you're ready, get back into your I Dream of Jeannie pose. You can Google it later if you don't know what it is. And gently push those biceps into the opposite thumb web. Feel the pectoral muscles contract. You've got to feel the back now. The upper back is opening and broadening as the front of the chest contracts. And now let go the front of the chest. The upper back recoils to its neutral. As you relax and put the hands down, the front of that chest opens just magnificently and beautifully. This is a great time to take a deep breath into your sternum. Lift that sternum toward your chin and let it go. For this next piece, we don't need to move our arms. Our hands can be neutral at our sides. What we're going to do is gently squeeze our shoulder blades together. Gently, like there's a pencil between your shoulder blades and you're trying to pick it up off the floor. As you do so, front of the chest opens like a book, even more than it did before. The upper back is gently contracting, and then slowly relax. Those rhomboid middle and lower trapezius muscles. Everything relaxes, and your upper body from the pectoralis through the serratus anterior, back around the rhomboids and the middle trapezius is open and balanced and relaxed. Your shoulders are really beautifully neutral right now. Make sure that you're not working your neck. The head is just heavy on the mat as once again that shoulder blades come together. There's no contraction in the back of the neck. This is not a squeeze with the back of the neck. We'll do that in a minute. Right now, opening the chest by gently pulling the shoulder blades together and then relaxing the shoulder blades, relaxing the middle back. Hands are neutral, eyes closed or eyes open. Just breathe into your upper back now. As you breathe in, picture directing that breath into your shoulder blades, into your scapula, into the space between the ribs and the shoulder blades, and feeling your whole upper body just being as big and broad as it can be. It's giant. Your whole torso now is as big around as it can possibly be. There's nothing squeezing you in. There's nothing holding anything in. Everything is open. Everything is broad. Which brings us to the back of the arms. Now, palms up on the mat and gently pushing the elbows and the backs of the hands into the mat. That opens the front of the chest. That engages your triceps. That's the back of your arms. And let that relax slowly. Slowly let that relax. Breathing into the upper back. Breathing out from the upper back. Always feeling free to shift and adjust your body. Always feeling free to direct your attention anywhere else inside your body that you want. And when you're ready, come back to the upper arms. The palms face up, pressing the elbows and the backs of the hands into the mat, waking up the triceps muscles, waking up the posterior deltoid, waking up the upper back. Nothing for the front of your neck to do. There's no need to tuck your chin. That's just relaxed and open. And then slowly, slowly let that go. And reposition yourself on your mat because you just open your shoulders another degree or two. Reposition your hips and your pelvis. Make whatever movements or wriggles you want to make. Now bend your arms so the hand comes up toward the shoulder. The forearm comes up against the biceps. Squeeze your biceps gently. Nothing for your neck to do. Feeling the back of the arm getting long. Feeling the upper back staying open. And then relax the arms, relax the biceps. Put the hands back down on the mat. Let's do those one at a time now. Just the left hand comes toward the shoulder. The back of the left arm opens. Everything else in the body is so quiet and relaxed and warm and soft. Just make that biceps muscle gently, like 20% of your full contraction. Just sense it contracting, sense it relaxing. Gently put that left hand back on the mat. Take a breath. Check in with your chest, the front of your neck. Check in with your face. Did you scrunch your face? I kind of did. I didn't need to. The right hand now comes up toward the right shoulder. You can see my palm facing the shoulder. Gently squeeze that right bicep. Feel the right back of the arm lengthening. Feel the right back of the arm lengthening. Little squeeze. And then relax. Let's do one more, both arms. Palms toward the shoulders. Both arms, gentle squeeze. Heels relaxed, lower body relaxed. Just sensing what the biceps feel like when they contract. And then what does it feel like when they relax? How does it feel when the back of the arm lengthens? How does it feel when the front of the arm lengthens? Take a deep breath. Now the one we've all been waiting for, we're going to relax our upper trapezius muscles, our levator scapula, all those shoulder shruggers. Let's just gently now bring the ears, the shoulders up toward the ears. And then let it relax. Good. Pull the shoulders down now, away from the ears. That's your pectoralis muscles and your latissimus muscles. The hands float off the mat a little bit. You're pulling both shoulders away from the ears, feeling the length coming through the side of the neck, the length in the upper trapezius, and then both sides relax, and we take a moment to pause and breathe again. Gently let those shoulders come up toward the ears. This is not a full contraction. The front of the neck is quiet. It's just the sides that are pulling the shoulders up. And then let that relax. And pull the shoulders down away from the ears now. Hands float. It's like my fingertips reaching for the sides of my feet. My head doesn't come up. My body doesn't come up. My low back is quiet. There's nothing for your abdominals to do. And then let that relax. We're going to transition to seated or kneeling now. And I really encourage you to take your time with that. So bend your knees one at a time. Get your feet flat on the mat. Windshield wiper your knees back and forth a couple of times. Get a little movement through your lower back. Wake up those muscles. If you fell asleep, that's great. Just keep dreaming. And roll over onto one side and use your arms to push yourself up. Take your time. You might be a little lightheaded. It's great to walk around the room a little bit. Just a few steps back and forth until you come to a seated position. I'm comfortable kneeling. If you're comfortable kneeling, that's great. If you want to sit in a chair or a stool or the edge of your bed, that's fine too. And let's start with some sternal lift. So we released our rib cage before. Now it's a really nice time. Put your hands on your sternum. Take a deep breath in, and as you're breathing in, lifting that sternum on your breath up toward your chin. And then on the out breath, your sternum gently falls. On the in breath, it rises like your sternum is floating on your breath. Your sternum is a cork floating on your breath. As your sternum lifts, your front ribs open, your clavicles and your shoulders, which already got so broad from the work you just did, get even broader, and they settle into a nice, easy position, which gives your neck a lot of room to do its thing. And now your neck and your head and your shoulders are in easy alignment. Your lower back is relaxed and open. There's nothing for it to do. Nice deep breaths into the sternum. Now we have another video where we do some neck stretches, which are similar to these movements that we're going to do, but we're not going to bring our neck to its full range of motion in this video. First, let's just let the weight of your head bring your chin down toward your chest. Just the weight of your head. There's no extra pull, and your low back stays relaxed and you're not slumping. But you're feeling the back of your neck getting long, sensing the elongation. If you're feeling a stretch in the muscle, you're going too far. Then slowly float your head back up to neutral, past neutral, and let the back of your head fall back gently toward the upper back and sensing the elongation of the front of your neck. Soften that a little bit. All those really important muscles for speech and swallowing, facial expression. Let your head float gently back up to neutral. Take a nice sternal breath. Check in with your shoulders and your lower back and make sure that's all relaxed, and then gently let the chin fall forward toward the chest again. A very slight contraction and shortening in the front of the neck and an elongation of the back of your neck that you can feel and sense all the way down to the middle of your middle back between your shoulder blades. Breathing in, float the head up to neutral. Let it come through neutral into extension, the back of the head toward the upper back, and sensing the elongation of the front of your neck. See if you can sense that fascia that's connected all the way into the sternum. Take a sternal breath here, lift your sternum. Lower back is relaxed, hands are relaxed, face is relaxed, and then float your head back to neutral. We're going to finish now with turning the head. This is mostly done by those two muscles running down the front of your neck that I am constantly working on in all my treatment videos, the SCM or the sternocleidomastoid. So we're turning our heads left, we're turning it right, not nearly to its full range, through very easy range. And as I turn left, I'm actually feeling the left side of my neck rotate back, feeling elongation of the left SCM muscle. That's what that feels like when that muscle lets go. Come back through neutral, turn your head to the right, and now that right SCM has to lengthen in order to allow my head to turn right. I'm not misspeaking here. It's this left sternocleidomastoid that turns my head to the right, and my right one has to let go and elongate in order to allow me to do that. So sensing each side of your neck elongating as you're turning towards that side. Congratulate yourself for this work. You really stuck with it. Good job. Let's do this again. Come back and visit. Dr. Russ signing off. Thanks for watching.